It's not possible. I didn't say it would be easy, Neo.
It. Oh, there we go.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The parole, we are reconvening. We're at Riverbend Detention Center on Wednesday, April 24th, 2024. It's 9:07 a.m. Good morning, Mr. Malbrough. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
My name is Jordan Malbrough. A DOC number is 631-911.
All right, Mr. Malbrough, we're here for a revocation decision this morning. Let me introduce us to you. My name is Cheryl Renanza. This is Mrs. Stapleton to my left. Mr. Freeman is to my right. I'm going to read some information into the record and ask you to enter a plea. But first, we're going to put a form up on the screen. I need you to verify if that's your signature. You stand by. You'll see it in just a second. Can you find this form?
Yeah, we got it.
You got it. Is that your signature dated February 27th of this year? Mr. Malbrough, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's it.
Is that your signature?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on the information contained in that questionnaire, you're not eligible for an appointed counsel this morning. Are you ready to proceed with the revocation hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
And let me recognize, I think we have Ms. Chandrika Jones, who's joined us. She wants to speak on your behalf, and your mother is also trying to connect, I believe. And and we'll hear from her at the appropriate time. Let me read the allegations against you. You're accused of violating the conditions of your parole, specifically condition number 4. And it states, on May 30th, 2023, you were arrested for domestic violence with child endangerment, possession of synthetic marijuana and drug paraphernalia by Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office. On December 12th, 2023, you were convicted possession of synthetic marijuana and drug paraphernalia. The charge of domestic abuse with child endangerment was not processed after the victim signed an affidavit. So how do you plead to violating condition number 4?
That is the domestic violence, or that's the synthetic?
It's all of it. You were arrested for domestic violence with child endangerment, possession of synthetic marijuana, and drug paraphernalia. So
Not guilty.
Not guilty. And then we have condition number 10, which says you have made no payments and are currently $884 in arrears on your fees as of June 6, 2023.
That is true.
So how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
I'm guilty on that.
Okay. Would you answer Mr. Freeman's questions, please?
Okay, Mr. Malbrough, what happened? What went down between you and your girlfriend?
Well, that night, she works at a nursing home. She deals with people with dementia and Alzheimer's. And I do know that she got struck by one of her residents at her job. She came home very upset, very aggravated, asked to see my phone. I gave her my phone. She seen different women in the phone, and she told me to get out the home. And I told her I wasn't going anywhere. And she said she was going to call the police. And when she said she was going to call the police, I up, got my stuff, I left. We were texting, and while we were texting, I told her I was about to come back to the house and apologize. And on my way walking back to the house, that's when the police stopped me, and I did have the synthetic marijuana on me, which I can accept that. You know, I pled guilty to that. And I was never convicted of drug paraphernalia. I was only convicted of the synthetic. The drug paraphernalia was dismissed prior, way before the domestic was dropped. But the domestic, she signed the affidavit like within a week or two when I come to jail. So that's not what got the charge dismissed. Her willing to testify on my behalf, saying that it was all a misunderstanding and she just made the story up, that's what got them to drop the charge completely. And as you look into my records, I've never ever been an aggravated offender. I've never been convicted of a crime against a person or anything of that nature. Yes, I have dealt with a drug problem, and I can admit that. And if given another opportunity, I would put myself into a 30-day rehab. I'll go to NA meetings. I'll get a sponsor. I'll do all the things that I need to do to be a productive citizen of society, and better yet, a better man and a better father to my kids. Yes, sir.
Why didn't you do that already? I mean, you got a terrible drug problem.
Yes,
You've
sir.
been every program we have. I looked trying to figure out where I could send you, but you've already been through. I think you've been through Blue Waters and the Concordia, Steve Hall.
I only been through Concordia and the Steve Hall program.
Right, the best we
Yes, sir.
have.
Yes, sir. I
You
completed.
can't kick your drug habit, right?
Well, I mean, I was sober for the majority of the time I was out, but I end up dealing with some things where I can't make an excuse for me using again, but the triggers, I fell victim to the triggers, and I was dealing with a lot going on, and that's what happened. I can't, I'm not gonna sit here and deny the fact or anything like that.
Okay. And how long have you been in jail? 9 months?
11 months. Next month make a year. And I've been sitting about 4 months, going on 5 months without a charge.
All right. I have no further questions.
No questions.
All right, well, let's hear from Ms. Jones. Ms. Jones, would you like,
Yes.
what would you like us to know?
Well, basically everything he said was actually true. And that's the same thing I had wrote to y'all, and I had told the other men that I had been talking to about it.
You're still in a relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the nature of that relationship?
The nature, we still together.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. It is
Mhm.
Ms. Bryant. Are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, what would you like us to know?
Well, I'm sorry. I have to step out of my classroom. I just think that my son is not a violent person. Never has been, always been very mild. He has made a lot of mistakes. A lot of it stems from drug use, drug abuse, which for a long time I was unable to understand because I'm not privy to it. But since he was 19, he hasn't had a chance, honestly, to live a normal adult life because since the first conviction, it has been, the cycle of drug use, like in jail. So if you're looking at paper, and I know that, the law is the law. I'm not making an excuse. But when you look on paper, it's like, golly, all he does is just, commit all these crimes when really a lot of it is just drug abuse because, and it's just in my experience, I can't speak for anybody else, but the constant jail time is not rehabilitative. It hasn't rehabilitated him because I don't know if you guys are aware, you can get just as much drugs in jail and you can out. And if that's a person's vice or issue, it's not helping. I do know that he has been in a program when he was probably 20, probably again when he was about 23. I don't know about any other program that he's been in lately. Now, we did try to take him to rehab in October of 20, not last year because he was locked up, 2022, right after he got out. We were taking him to a rehab, but they kept denying us, saying that he needed to be in a mental institution and not in a drug program. We went to two different places. And so with that being said, we wound up going to Ochsner. And that's when he was actually diagnosed with a bipolar disorder. And so after that, I think that, just the synthetic marijuana use combined with the bipolar disorder. I mean, the chemical imbalance just was too much. But I do believe, and honestly, my son is intelligent, that he can be a productive member of society. I honestly believe he has the means, he has the support. I mean, we're going to support him through this whole process.
Yes, ma'am, and thank you so much for taking time out of your classroom to speak to us. We appreciate it. And thanks for
Yeah,
that.
you hear they're quiet too. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
That's really impressive. Okay. Mr. Malbrough, is there anything you'd like to say to us?
I just accept my responsibility as far as the synthetic marijuana, but honestly, I never touched that woman. That's not even my MO. And I just hope and pray that, God touch your heart to give me another chance so I could just try to do what's right and be there for my children and my mother too.
Okay, prepared to vote. Mr. Freeman?
Okay, Mr. Malbrough, like stated earlier, I mean, I don't know where I would send you. I really don't. You've had a lot of opportunities in the Department of Corrections. You can't kick that drug problem. You were found guilty of the synthetic marijuana. My vote today is to revoke.
Mrs. Stapleton?
That's my vote also based upon the drug issue.
All right, Mr. Malbrough, my vote today, I'd be willing to give you a shot with some special conditions. That would be, that you do get treatment for your mental health disorder. I think maybe your drug use has to do with self-medicating, maybe perhaps to address some of those issues. However, you received 2 votes to revoke your parole. So the end result of today's proceeding is that your parole is revoked. I am going to request, though, that you do be moved to a facility where you can get some mental health evaluation and help with that issue, which may help with your substance abuse issue as well. But today, Mr. Malbrough, your parole is being revoked.
So can I ask a question?
Yes.
I can be revoked on a misdemeanor?
Yes.
I had no knowledge of that.
Off at 9:19. Oh, I'm sorry. We have another one there? Okay, sorry. And Mr. Harris?